Let's go live.
It's live. Yep, we're live now. It just says the podcast is live. We're on.
Delay. I'm still a newbie to streaming. Anyway,
it looks live.
This is how it all began, folks.
Yes, happy 75th anniversary.
Happy 75th anniversary.
Yep.
Whoop, whoop. Is that sorry, Daniel, are you holding up an original copy with the William Middleton illustrations?
That's the one.
God, he was a crap artist.
Yep. Inexperienced, I think you could put it.
And he was very unenthusiastic about taking it. He just thought it was about a bunch of dirty old locomotives, didn't he?
Yeah, much to Robert's charging.
Oh yeah, he was pissed.
Yeah. Hence why we got today's illustrations with Reginald Dalby since 1949.
Yeah, but even he has inconsistencies.
Yeah, but still, no one's perfect. Yes,
I prefer the is it the Grover Peter Edwards artwork? It's from later on. The two artists that took over after John Tenney.
Yeah, they took over on
Peter and Gunn.
They took over after Thomas on number. Yeah, they took over on book number 17, Stepney the Bluebell Engine, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then they finished off with Tramway Engines.
Oh, number 18, sorry, Gallant Old Engine. Gallant Old Engine was the last one from the other artist. Then there was number 18, Stepney the Bluebell Engine. That's when the two artists take over. Got mixed up there.
That's right. Gallant Old Engine, that was the last one to be illustrated by John T. Kenny. And then the other two artists took over during Stepney the Bluebell Engine and finished Tramway Engines. And I feel I prefer their artwork because they look very much very more realistic in terms of their detail. Like it's almost like proper railway art, if that makes any sense.
Now, shall we introduce ourselves now that we finally started the live stream?
Yeah, sure.
A very special and Thomas anniversary live stream, the first in a long time since I did the last one in last April when I celebrated my 28th birthday. So this time
I think I was left that.
Yeah.
I think Daniel should start introducing all of us, then we can talk about ourselves.
I already did that. So shall we start with Geek Mission? Right,
hello, YouTube verse and Thomas and Friends fandom. This is Joel Hunter, aka Geeb Machine, from the TCC.
I worked with him on that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Scott.
Hi everyone, I'm Scott, who you may formerly know me as Starbuck Productions, but now I'm Bickliki Studios, and as a lifelong Thomas fan, I'm glad to be part of this live stream.
Right, that's good to know. Rust.
Ross is muted.
I believe.
Oh wait, he's got an audio story premiering right now. I'm looking at the chat right now. He's got.
I'll let him introduce himself later.
Yeah.
Go to.
Wait, who's next?
Toby.
Oh, yes, me. Oh, yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm Toby Loxton of TFL Creative Media, and thank you very much to Daniel for inviting me today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us.
Very.
Because I know Daniel for quite a while. I've known him for since I first joined YouTube. So if I'm not mistaken, it's about 15 years, I believe.
Oh yeah.
I've only met Daniel twice in person, unfortunately. One time was that was 10 years ago during the 50th anniversary of the Bluebell Railway. I introduced you to my father. It was I had this really crappy pitch idea for a potential railway inspector because you knew him. And then we met last year at Star Tugs at the Midland Railway Centre.
Yeah, that's a long time that when I met Toby at the Bluebell Railway 9 years ago at the Bluebell Railway when he had pretty much some story idea he'd trying to pitch to the railway sector free.
It was crap. It was so crap.
Oh dear. Oh God, we're young.
Luckily, I've matured since then. I am older and wiser and a much better writer, I think.
I was 11 around that time when my name was even mentioned in any media. Like that one time, I drawn, traced, and painted a picture of Thomas Jameson Percy that's taken from the Big Life Tour poster advertisement and sent the traced picture to CITV, which was shown following the first repeat of Elizabeth the Vintage Lorry on Monday, February 17th, 2003.
You said that like you're an
I saw that.
You said that like you're an
I
IV.
saw that broadcast. That was so cool.
You said that, Daniel, like you're an IVT, announcer.
Very much. All right. We play the first game called Sodor Quiz.
Oh, I love quizzes. Bring it on.
Yeah.
25th anniversary.
I'm into that.
All right. First one should be easy.
Okay.
Who is for now? Anyway, here's the thing: is simple. We should let the viewers in the live chat to type in the answers, and then if they're correct, we in the stream had to hush it, but we can carry on talk about anything else while we're at it.
Of course.
Okay.
Okay. Let's start Sodor Quiz. Who is the
Let
first
the game
character?
begin. So,
Okay. Hush, guys. Who is the first character to have ever appear in the Three Railway Engines, the first Railway series book? A. Gordon, B. Edward, C. Thomas, or D. James? We'll let the viewers take a guess in the live chat.
countdown theme, please.
Oh, looks like we got correct answers from many people in the live chat who knew their character. Oh my gosh. But I digress. That's right. It is Edward who's the first character to ever appear in a book, not Thomas, because Thomas made his official appearance in the next book.
And trivia. The Edward character. It was not particularly named after anybody by Wilbert. It was literally the first name that came into his head when he first told this story to Christopher.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Christopher had the measles during that time, didn't he?
Indeed.
2 or 3 years old.
2 years old. No, he was 2 years old. It was 1942.
Yes, he was.
He was 2, yeah. When is the first episode of season 1? Says Thomas Dear Boy. Don't you mean Thomas and Gordon? That was aired on October 9th, 1984.
I actually got a quiz question.
Oh, no, maybe. I'm the one that's created the game. Sorry.
Yeah. Leave it to the game master, folks.
Yep.
Games Master. I remember that.
Oh, here's some interesting facts from George Productions. 07 says Gordon was named after a rude boy on the street.
I remember reading that somewhere too. It was like a bully, wasn't it? Wasn't it a bully to Christopher?
No.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Let me come up with a question. Okay. What is that? The full name of the... Right. How are we open today?
Guess who's back?
Who? Ross.
I am.
Oh, how is the
Hey, buddy.
audio thing?
It was great. Although I did send you all the links. I thought you might have all tuned in to see it as well. You missed a great Edward story.
Oh, Sorry.
That's all right. I did an adaptation of Edward the Hero.
Yep. At least
wow.
At least I didn't clash your audio story with my special video, Russ.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
I'm pleased about that.
So I thought, why not I moved it to 9 o'clock and avoiding anyone else's videos.
Yeah.
So I thought that 9 o'clock was a good time, actually. It was originally 7:30, but there were several problems. This included my dad's birthday that had to clash into it. But nonetheless, I went there. I've been there, done that. We wished the dad a very happy birthday, all shared a birthday cake, had a nice cup of tea, and go home.
Okay.
You're such a gentle storyteller, Dan. You're such a gentle presence.
Absolutely.
All right. For the next question, I know this one. All right. That reminds me. I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Go on.
Which is your favorite Railway series book?
Let's let Scott go first.
Yeah. All right.
Here's your answer.
See? Oh, Thomas the Tank Engine. What Ross's favorite Railway series?
I think one of my favorite. I've got a load of favorites, but I think one of my favorites is Branch Line Engines.
And
yes, that's a good book.
yeah, I found that was a good story. Any of the Christopher Aldrich books that you liked as well?
Yeah, I like them all, but I kind of like what was it? I liked Thomas and the Great Railway Show and Thomas Comes Home, and I loved the 2 latest ones, Thomas and Victoria and Thomas and his friends. I love those ones as well.
How about you, Joe? Do you have a favorite Railway series book?
Hands down, Mountain Engines, because it is one that is very unique. You could say it's there's only one of those characters, and when I was little, I the only form I knew about the Mountain Engines was the little Ertl toys. Godred, Colby, and Lord Harry. That was all I knew about them. And so when I finally got the collection back in '97, as I believe it was an award for completing a school year in homeschool or test or something, I got that, and then I found the Mountain Engines. I was like, and I just immediately started reading that. Well, actually, no. I saw it was like, oh my gosh, it's there, but I gotta start at the beginning. So I started, and I went through there. And finally, I came to Mountain Engines. I was like, oh my gosh, there's 5 other Mountain Engines.
It's just a shame the other Mountain Engines didn't get released in Ertl.
Well, at that point, I don't think Shane Dewey was the other one named in there.
Oh, Alaric, an Ertl model.
Yeah, because at that point, the only ones I, aside from Coldy, Godred, and Lord Harry, that were named in the book were Ernest, Wilfred, Alaric. Alaric, is that right?
Yes, number 5.
No, Alaric's number 7.
I actually got my books right in front of me if you want me to find the names for you.
It's Alaric.
He's cheating.
Okay, so it's number 1, Godred, Ernest number 2, Wilfred number 3, Coldy number 4. Who's number 5?
Shane Dewey is the only one that isn't named in the book.
Yeah, Shane Dewey's number 5, and Lord Harry / Patrick is number 6.
Yeah. And then there's Alaric. Is it pronounced Alaric or Alaric?
Alaric,
I think.
Alaric is number 7, and Eric is number 8.
Yes, thank you. I always forget those last 2.
Yeah. Should we get back to the next question?
Yep, let's go for it.
Are you ready for this one?
Oh yeah, Toby. Toby hasn't said what his favorite book is.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
We
yeah.
goofed.
be
We
right
done
back.
goofed, folks. We're horrible.
I'll be right back.
What
now-
was it anyway, Toby?
so Daniel's gone.
I think he's went to get something. But during that, Toby, what is your favorite Railway series book?
Well, it's a bit of a tricky one because I mean, if it were with Wilbert's, it's a bit of a mix. Like it's a toss between Stepney the Bluebell Engine and Enterprising Engines. The Bluebell Engines and Bluebell Engines because, well, I'm biased of being a former Bluebell Railway volunteer, but also like Enterprising Engines, I just like the aesthetic of Enterprising Engines. Because it takes place in that sort of end period where steam was starting to go, the Flying Scotsman was starting to run about a bit more, and it contains my favorite Railway series story, Super Rescue.
Right. That's a great choice. Anyway.
But if when it comes to, although very recently I've been looking at old Railway series books as research for a project I've been recently doing, and I really do like Very Old Engines and Duke the Lost Engine upon revision. I think that they're very underrated as books, and I just feel like that stories like Very Old Engines is so rich, and I just like exploring that early history where like these engines, these Welsh narrow gauge engines, where you're used to a certain, like way of identifying with them as the gallant old engine and the old faithful. But back in the day, they were not the same engines as they are today, and that's something that I really do appreciate. And also, there's just something about the Lost Engine about telling these stories that also in the past, but also that idea of adventure and discovery. It's kind of like this Railway series equivalent of Indiana Jones, if you think about it.
Yeah.
That's an interesting comparison.
Well, because it's because Duke was a lost engine. Lost to time. Like they thought he was going to come to the 100th birthday, but he wasn't. Peter Sam and Sir Handel's Duke, and then you have different. The thin clergyman and the fat clergyman, and all these controls, all these corresponding people coming together. It's like, okay, we're starting to put the dots together. He's cut. We think we might be able to find him, and that's just very exciting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of the books, I had something to show you for a little bit.
Done.
All right.
Yes.
Ta-da!
Wow.
Oh my!
That's a lot of books. There's a lot of books there.
Are they all the first print editions?
That's right.
Except for mainline engines and tramway engines. Those two look like second versions.
Well, actually, technically, the mainline engines is the first edition, albeit it did come with the dust cover. It did. Still counts as the first edition to me. And so is Tramway Engines, which was technically the first book that did not come with the dust cover.
How did you get your hands on the original William Middleton artwork book?
Yeah.
A long time ago, 6 years ago, actually, on eBay. That's on hard-earned money.
Because aren't they like worth a lot right now?
Yeah, pretty much these days.
Well, so
What
is
do you
Wilbert Audrey's Sodor book.
Yeah.
Really?
I've never read that book, but I'm told I presume that book is where a load of sort of like, expanded sort of like ideas and concepts for the island of Sodor, and how fans are able to come up with new, fresh stories from those blurbs, as it were.
That's where the coffee pots were mentioned, and that's where Shane Duini got his name.
Yeah, because it also mentions the Peel Godred electric line as well. Because I think so. Because apparently that's where the idea for putting the Peel Godred line in Sodor the early years and subsequently Sodor the modern years come from. Also, on that note, it's sad to see it stop.
What stopped?
So do all the modern years by Wild Nor'Wester. It stopped.
I think last I read somewhere on DeviantArt is that he's still on a hiatus. He's got something, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah, because I recently read that his only written story, the Locomotives and Legends, about the origins of Peter, about sort of like how he did a Railway Series version of Hero of the Rails, but it was more grounded and more realistic. It was very interesting because he brought in the idea of the Strategic Stream Reserve, which is an old myth from railway history, when during the Cold War there was fears that after the aftermath of a nuclear holocaust, they were going to need locomotives for the aftermath, so they hid steam engines in tunnels in order to make, to save them. But the project became non-viable, so apparently there might have been loads of engines left underground in tunnels somewhere. And Wild Nor'Wester took that concept and turned it into a character called Peter, a Stanier 8F.
Right.
That just reminded me of something. I think that they're currently, this is currently being worked on, is like there is a gold train hidden from World War II somewhere.
Like an actual train containing gold?
Yeah, Nazi gold.
Yeah. Anyways, shall we move on to something very special?
All right, guys, that was what to show us.
Joel, we'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
Right.
Gonna be more.
Oh, cake.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I bought this cake from Tesco Express while the two blue candles and this little cute Thomas here were all bought on eBay. Anyway, we're going to start the candle. Everyone in the live chat, are we all ready for a little birthday song?
Oh, sure.
Let's do it. You up for it, Ross?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Until I had a candle lit up. I didn't want to get my fingers burnt. That's one done.
Why don't you just put it on the table and then do it and then use the lighter? That way you got both hands free.
Thanks for the advice, but I think I got a hang of it now. Just getting there and voila! We're all ready.
Let's see.
Hello.
Hey! He's done it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy
Right.
Strangest happy birthday song I've ever heard.
Before I blow, I'll have some couple of things to say.
God.
And then you'll be with me here. To the Reverend W. Audrey. To
Here.
Yeah,
To the Reverend W. Audrey.
For the Reverend W. Audrey.
And Sodor.
And Sodor.
Yeah, and of course. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hey!
You guys are back. Hey.
I think it's fair to say that Thomas literally has changed throughout the years. The version of him that we are used to is not the same that we were introduced when we were a child, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the core idea and the basis of him is lost in translation. Like the idea of a guy who just wanted to make his sick son feel better and entertain him, it still rings true, because even with all these new stories being told, they are being told to newer kids in a new format, in a new generation. So that still rings true.
Absolutely.
He's still
Are
the same.
you trying to eat that, Dan?
That you didn't.
He's still the same Tengenji we know and love. He may be different to what we were introduced to back then, but he still keeps going. He still doesn't disappoint us.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yep.
Indeed.
So I think Daniel might have some more Sodor quiz questions he hasn't asked the viewers yet, has he?
Oh, yeah.
I had another one coming up. Are we all ready for this one, folks?
Go for it.
Go on,
It's for the viewers, not for the stream. This is for the viewers.
Yeah, this is for the viewers. Are you ready, viewers? What is the full name of the Fat Controllers Railway in 2 letters, N and W? A. Northwestern Railway. B. Nowhere. C. Northwestern Railway. Or D. Northern West Railway.
Countdown fee, please.
Well, we had some correct answers so far from the few viewers here. That is correct. It is Northwestern Railway. A.
Yay! Well done, viewers. There you go.
And some trivia on that. Your second choice was Nowhere. Well, that is actually what it originally was, because when Wilbert made that original model for Thomas, it did have NW on the side, and it did stand for Nowhere.
Ironically.
Which doesn't make any sense. Nowhere is spelled with a K.
Yeah, it's a good thing I added that.
Is it?
First chapter of Steven's Legacy.
That's in
Wait, no.
That's in Guardians of the Galaxy, isn't it?
Yes. Sorry, I'm getting confused.
No, as in I know that I know that you are wrong, sir.
We could have said NW could have been Norman Wisdom or Not Wasted.
Thomas fans are so rubbish in live streams. It just goes out of control.
Wow. Anyways, let's go with my next question for you, since we've been discussing the railway series for a long period of time already. That is nearly half an hour now. Do you have any earlier memories of Thomas and Friends since you were children? Let's start with Scott.
Sorry, what was that?
You're not paying attention, were you?
You so know.
Have you got any early memories of Thomas the Tank Engine thing?
Earliest memories.
Well, the classic theme I remembered.
Okay, right there. Earliest memories.
Well, the earliest memories I remember is when I had my first Thomas video. It was the Deputation and Other Stories, and that video is sort of special because my nan got it for me when I was a little boy.
Are you referring to the red one from Screen Legends?
Pardon? Sorry.
Are you referring to the red one from Screen Legends or Pickwick Video?
Yes. That one, the red covered one with Edward on the cover. Yeah, so that was the one that was the first video I had.
That is the one I was talking about.
Yeah, then I had a few other ones. Didn't have the whole set, but I had a couple of others. Yeah. But here's a good memory. Well, it's a bit of a. It was a bit of a funny day. My first ever day out with Thomas was in Norfolk. I was about 3 years old. It was just I saw Thomas coming in the station platform at Sheringham. It was just about to go in, and suddenly I felt a sting on me down there, and it was a wasp. It stung me. So we went somewhere to get the wasp spray. And they took it off, and then when we got back there, Thomas was gone. I didn't like that at all. But I did tell you who I did see during that time. I saw Percy and the Fat Controller.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I mean, to be fair, Scott, that's not the worst encounter I could imagine with a wasp. I've had a worse encounter with a wasp anyway.
Yeah, but Yeah, that's true. But but you know, you can't get to see everything these days, can you?
That is true.
Yeah, but
so, yeah.
So, but the good Thomas memory, I've got one good. Sorry, let me try that again. I've got one more good Thomas memory, and I wasn't a child then. I was like in my late teens. It was mine and Rob's first ever day out with Thomas in 2003, and that was at the East Anglian Railway Museum.
Oh, that must have been special.
It was, yeah. I was, well, you know, my mum and my sister were in Florida with other family members, and it was just me and my dad. So he took me and Ross to see Thomas and Toby and Percy at the East Anglian Railway Museum. That was 2003. Yeah, do you remember that, Ross?
Yeah, that was
a good memory.
Yeah, there was an engine called Jeffrey that in one of the sidings as well.
Yeah, but that's now down below, just all black now.
Yeah.
But that was a very good memory for me and Ross, because me and Ross, we're like Thomas and Percy, best friends, but we've been best friends for nearly 20 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
I can't
actually.
I actually can't claim to have had a friendship for that long a time, I must say.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier memories of Thomas. Did you bit with that, Scott? Before we can move on to someone else?
Yeah, you can move. Yeah, I'm done now. You can do someone else now.
Since Ross is next to you, let's go with him.
Earliest memory. Well, I've got two I'd like to bring up, if that's okay.
Okay.
One time was when I was like when I was really younger. This is like in the early 90s. My mum took me to like a place where it was like a play school thing. It wasn't a school building. It was like someone's house. It was like a daycare center place. We were there for a while, and I can remember me and the kids, me and the other youngsters. We were sitting in front of the TV, and there was this video that was playing. It had a load of compilation episodes from different shows, like Thomas, Tots TV, and other shows. And the episode I remember in particular, the Thomas episode they showed on that video was Escape.
I used to have that. I used to have that video. Yes, I know what you're on about.
And then the episode after that was a Tots TV episode where Tom kept sneezing.
I seen that. I remember seeing
the hiccups.
Hiccups, yeah. I can't remember the other ones on there.
Well, the Rosie and Jim one had music.
Music.
Talk about music.
Oh yeah, you mean that where they play in the music place in which John tries to find some place for some peace and quiet and such. I mean, John.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Ultimania, I think it's one.
Anyway, carry on, Ross. Continue.
Okay, the second one I'm going to bring up is this was Christmas. This was Christmas 1995. Christmas 1993. It was one of those two. I think it was 1995. I remember getting for Christmas Thomas's Train and Other Stories, and I got to watch that whole video on Christmas Day after we finished opening our presents. We watched the whole video, and then we went and go and see our nanny and granddad for Christmas dinner. That is that is a very special memory.
So the Thomas's Train, that's the bumper special one, isn't it?
Yes. And it was that time. You probably might not know this, Scott, but Jowls used to have. I used on the bottom floor of Jowls. There used to be a stairway, and on the top of that stairway was a section where they had a lot of videotapes and CDs and that. And that was where
I do remember that. I used to buy a lot of books from there in cassette tapes.
And that was where I found Thomas's Train and Other Stories, and asked my mum if I could have that for Christmas. And I've still got that tape on me today.
All these years, you still got it. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting. One of the earliest memories we had in Skype. Now we moved on to Toby.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, whilst you've been talking, I've actually been trying to think because, like, a lot of my early Thomas memories sort of blur together, and I don't really know what came sort of before. Although I do remember many nights and days where I not only played with my Turtles, but I also I watched over and over again this VHS. It was a double VHS, and it had a lot of season 2 stories on it. Stuff like the Deputation, Edward's Exploit, the Ghost Tray, Old Iron, but it was 2 of them.
Did it have the Time for Trouble stories as well?
I think so, yeah. But I also know there was some stories like rock and roll video before them. But there is although there is one memory that I was very surprised I just remembered. It's a very interesting one. Like it was on this. I was watching this video of Buzz, and
yeah,
in the moment where you have a close up of James's face when he gets stung by the bee, I ran away and hid in the kitchen larder. Because that terrified me for some reason.
Oh no! I was like that on the flying kipper when Henry crashed. That I used to be scared of that when I was little.
Are you kidding? The flying kipper still traumatizes me today.
I'm quite used to that.
I remember that.
I don't know about you, but Ghost Train used to scare me with that eerie voice.
Oh, stop that!
I remember the scene from Pop Goes the Diesel that scared me when I was little. It was when Diesel tried pulling all the trucks, and it was the growing that really scared me. I could not be in that room while that scene was going on.
I thought it was a close-up shot of Diesel when we were close to the screen.
Oh, sorry, Russ. Sorry, Scott. That's how it. That also used to scare Dan the Downer, another one of my friends. I mean, the whole scene.
I mean, what's sort of scary about, what makes the flying, don't get me wrong, that flying kipper example that you gave, it's a great episode, but the thing is that, it's very atmospheric, it's very well shot, the music is so, it's awe-inspiring and hopeful, and then it just takes a really, dramatic turn that, oh my god, the points are check and change, he's gonna have a crash, and then it just stops, and then you just focus on these guys in the brake pad, and then it's like, bam, then it happens.
Wow.
Ouch. Yeah.
Talk about scary.
Yeah.
I know.
Right now we're moving on from earliest memories to scariest moments. Woo!
Joel's turn there.
Yep.
Firstly, I think the scary moments for me was Ghost Train, the music for that, and Thomas Percy and the Dragon when Thomas is coming by with the dragon. That music there used to scare me.
I'm not going
to open my eyes until my driver comes.
I'm not going to lie that the Ghost Train theme is like such a scary track. It's more scarier than a load of soundtracks in contemporary horror movies. How does it do it? How did Michael O'Donnell and Junior Campbell do it?
I was a clue. They must have studied the horror movies.
Does anybody remember watching Duncan get spooked for the first time?
Ah, yeah. What about Tom?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't scared of that at all. It was a good episode.
Oh yeah, I do remember. Actually, it was a load of a season 5 tape, and I was so scared of it all. I threw it on my dad's barbecue.
Yeah,
I didn't like
a lot of dramatic and scary moments there.
Yeah, I didn't.
Tell you what, I did.
It's 1999.
You first, boss. Go on.
I was going to say, when I first got Spooks and Surprises, there were 2 bits I did. There were 3 episodes that sort of scared me. Hordes and Henry because of the crash on the from the viaduct, Gordon's crash from Thomas and the Rumours, and this Rusty's ghost story from Duncan Gets Spooked. That scared me because the music. Because I was like 10 years old when the tape was released, and that honestly did scare me when I was little.
What's scary about the Gordon crash in Rumors is that you see him go into the tunnel in slow motion, then there's just a load of dust that comes out. It's like you don't see what happens. You don't see what happens to inside.
I just didn't like what was happening because I just did not like the crash because I'm just thinking I just didn't like it. I don't know why I didn't like it. I just didn't like the explosion that happened afterwards. That's the explosion is what scared me.
Yeah, I understand that. I completely understand that. I know exactly what you mean. I think I know what you mean on that. But so that when Duncan gets spooked, the engine that was returning, we know that's a Scar Lowen model, of course, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Scar Lowen's large scale model.
Yeah, but I've got something to say about that. Okay. When me and Ross used to play with the Erdl trains, we make up our own stories, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and I thought I named one Scar Lowen Secret.
Yes, I remember that stuff. I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, and Scar Lowen confessed to Duncan that it was him who fell off the bridge, but they managed to get him out.
Ah, that was interesting.
That is interesting.
Well, whenever I get if Bachman ever releases Duncan,
which they will eventually,
because I've got the Bachman Narrow Gauge engines. I know Peter Sam's next, but if they release Duncan, if they do, maybe I can actually make that episode come to life. Do it.
Eventually, once all of them are released in narrow gauge, all the narrow gauge characters, everyone will be able to remake episodes.
Provided that you have enough the green, if you know what I mean.
I think the only narrow gauge engine they're going to find hard to make in Bachman is Mighty Mac. I think he's going to be difficult to make.
I don't know if they'll do him at this point, do Mighty Mac at this point in time, because right now it looks like they're focusing on the ones that are currently in CGI.
Although there is a model railway company, I can't remember who it is, but they are going to be producing a double fairing model in 009. So people might, if they've got enough cheddar cheese, that is, then they'll probably purchase one of those and then use that for Mighty Mac. But subsequently, they're also producing the Prince engines, Duke Spaces.
Yeah,
right.
I remember hearing about that. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. My earliest Thomas memory now. I really had to think about this one. I'm kind of glad I was last because the only way I remember these is because my mom told me about them. Was how I got started in Thomas was my dad wanted me to get out of his hair, put me on a couch, turned on PBS Kids, and Shining Time Station was on. That was one of the things that was playing, and when the Thomas story came on, I was hooked. And
I was going to ask, which Mr. Conductor was it that was on?
I think because the only one at that point that I was aware of was George Carlin.
You see, Joel, that's very interesting to me because, speaking as a UK viewer, I did not hear about the concept of Shining Time Stations until my teens. But you're an American, obviously, so Shining Time Station is something ingrained to your early years of Thomas, I presume. So it's just interesting to see that to get that take on it, really.
Yeah,
I actually saw that. I actually saw Shining Time on a holiday to Florida in 1994, and Ringo Starr was Mr. Conductor on that one. And I only watched 2 episodes. Right, first one had let me think. Yeah, I remember it was Percy Runs Away. Then it was Thomas Comes to Breakfast. Then the other one had Cole and the Flying Kipper, or Henry Special Cole as the American title.
Do you guys buy into that theory that Henry never was rebuilt, but he was just completely replaced by just Henry 2 or something?
No.
I've never heard of that theory.
Because
I've never heard of that theory before.
Well, there was a blurb in apparently one of these reference books that Wilbur and George wrote, and they kind of reference, as the new rebuilt Henry as as Henry II, or like they mention
Like Mark
Henrys,
II.
like or mention Henrys as plural.
Like a Henry Mark II, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I never really heard of that theory until you brought it up just now.
I've known about it for quite some time. It was first brought up in that or what's his face, Cactus something YouTuber. Very unique voice. He did this thing called Sodor's Long Forgotten Secret and other things. But also recently there was this YouTuber, I can't remember his name. He talked about why Henry was his favorite character, and he got into that story, which was quite interesting.
Right. My earliest memories of Thomas and Friends, I believe, was when I was still 2 years old. That's when Trust Thomas and Other Stories was my first real exposure to Thomas and Friends. With the early iterations from Michael Angelis. During the time I was in the old house, and since we moved to this house a couple of years later, my real exposure to collecting Thomas VHS and DVDs was Thomas Gets Bumped and Other Stories.
That bumper special one, yeah.
Yep, bumper special one. That's it.
Yeah. Is there any more questions, Daniel?
All right.
Oh, yeah, another quiz question.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
How about let's see.
Oh, Joe's got his hand up.
Yeah,
I wasn't necessarily done.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily, because there's two that that I just suddenly remembered.
All right.
One was one of my birthdays. My mom got one of the Ertl triple packs. And she was trying to find the one with Thomas, Annie, and Clarabelle, but she could only find Percy, Annie, and Clarabelle. And she was like, Joel's gonna be pissed. This is because it's Thomas that's supposed to pull Annie and Clarabelle, not Percy. And she got it and put it on the cakes. Like, maybe you won't notice, but I was just excited that I got Percy there. That was one. And this is where it kind of ties into the others. Like, one of my babysitters had taken one of the Annie toys, the Annie coach, and put it on a high shelf just to get it off the floor. And I was shouting at my mom, "My Annie, my Annie, my Annie, my Annie." And she's like, "What is he saying? Miami, Florida?" She's saying, does he even know what Miami is? I'm like, "My Annie." And she looks up, "Oh, my Annie. Oh."
Okay. Somebody talking about Wacko's World, or Yakko's America. Sorry, going off topic for a bit. If we're talking about American countries, Yakko's America.
No, it's Wacko. Wacko's America.
Yeah.
I mean, Yakko's World, but
Yakko's World, Wacko's America.
Don't forget Dot.
I'm Dot. I'm cute. I'm cute.
I'm cute.
Anyway, getting back to the subject.
I think this is the first time I've been involved in a Thomas-related live chat where talking about random Thomas stuff is actually relevant because it's a celebratory year. Yeah, 75th.
Yeah.
So going off on any tangents might not necessarily be inappropriate. I got to say I might be spontaneous about this, but I might be lying.
Okay. Go on.
Carry on, Daniel.
Okay. Anyway, so I already told you guys my earliest memories of Thomas and Friends. My first exposure to it was Trust Thomas and Other Stories on VHS.
Yeah, we got that.
The old house. Yeah. Anyways, I had something else in mind. See what I have on display here.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's a model replica of Reverend Audrey's Thomas for Christopher.
Yep.
Yeah, because he made that as a. Because am I correct in assuming that Christopher wanted Gordon, but he couldn't make him because he was too big. So he made that tank engine. He gave it to Christopher for Christmas, and then he liked it and said, like, "Can you make up stories about my engine?" He said, "Oh, well, I'll love to. I'll make up stories about your engine. Why don't we call him Thomas the Tank Engine?" Am I correct in seeing that?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Fun fact: this replica here was created for me out of request by none other than White House Films.
That's right. I remember hearing about that.
Yep.
Which one's White House Films?
Michael White.
Michael White.
Oh,
Yeah.
He told me about that. He told me about that.
Oh yeah, the guy who writes for Thomas.
Yeah. And his many colors: Haunted Truck, Deep Trouble, and most recently, Thomas and the Whale Engine.
I don't know why, for some reason.
He wrote Out of Sight too.
Yeah, now it's like no.
Yeah, because
Engine of Too Many Colors. Engine of Many Colors. I think that was the first episode he wrote, wasn't it? On season 22. My kids love that one.
Because I met him at the Star Tugs event last year. He was there. Remember, Daniel? I don't know why though, but when we were up by because in the Midland Railway Centre there's this like massive grounds and there's loads of different buildings all around this complex, and we were close by its Great Hall, and behind it there was like this literal bunch of scrap metal. But for some sort of reason, I don't know why, everyone just filmed him for a moment, and then he went up to a scrap and said, "Where's my cap gone? It's right here." The way he delivered it was hilarious, but I don't understand where it comes from, why it's funny. Could someone please explain that to me? I was there, and yet I don't know what the whole thing was related to.
Fun fact about another fun fact about this one. Before Michael created this very version of it. The previous version before this one he created was a gift to Christopher Audrey, since Christopher apparently lost the original toy back in 2000 somewhere in the United States.
I'd love to meet Christopher Audrey.
Yeah, so do we.
You never know. Lucky one day.
Where is he at nowadays?
I wouldn't know for sure.
Last I heard is that he's been keeping a pretty low profile.
Yes.
So is Britt Allcroft.
Very.
Britt, the Veronica and
Veronica Chambers.
Yeah, Veronica and Christopher have been keeping pretty low profiles.
Oh, don't forget Hillary, the third child.
She didn't she pass away?
Yeah, she died.
Oh, yeah, she did, didn't she? That's sad.
Yeah, she passed away some years ago.
Yeah, truth be told, the most recent time I've met Veronica Chambers was at Drayton Manor several months ago during the VIP premiere of Digs and Discoveries.
Oh, I feel so sorry for her.
I wouldn't.
Fair.
I don't know why, but
although not to be crude, but when looking into the Audrey family, because like Christopher and Veronica were born months apart.
Pretty much.
So I'm just thinking that like the Reverend got busy back in the day.
Yeah.
With Margaret, to be able to have two children, very close to each other.
Yeah.
Just good on the Reverend.
Yeah.
So, any more solo quiz questions for the viewers?
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'll be right back. I have to come up with an idea. I hadn't had a question. The question for a while. Okay.
Well, while you're thinking about that, I would like to pose a question to the group real quickly.
Go on then.
What is your favorite Railway series exclusive character? Because there were characters that were never shown in the show. They only stayed in the books. Are there any ones that stand out to you? I think the Mountain Engine stand out to you, Joe, because that's your favorite book.
That's one, yeah. I got to think for a minute though.
Yeah,
I'd say Wilbert the Forest Engine.
Yeah, I say Wilbert the Forest Engine as well, because he's a good favourite.
He was named after the Reverend W. Audrey.
Yeah, absolutely. I also do like Bear.
Yeah.
For his limited time.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's Joe go.
Any questions from the viewers, maybe?
All right, that's just the next pseudo quiz question for the viewers.
You should have written all these questions down on a piece of paper. That way, you won't forget which ones there
Oh,
were.
don't worry, I got it on the notes application on my iMac, so I wouldn't forget. Oh, I had it all packed up. But thank you, brother. Anyways, are we all ready for the next pseudo quiz question? For after a long period of time, since we were busy talking about earliest memories of Thomas, scary moments and such. But what the heck?
Yep.
It's a celebration, so why not? What is the original livery for Donald and Douglas that Donald and Douglas have in the books? A, red. B, yellow. C, green. D, black.
So while everybody's doing that, when you guys start talking about Wilbert, I just remembered something.
Okay.
I got this from, I believe it was Daniel Snell.
Who's Daniel Snell?
He's
I
an
remember
YouTuber.
him.
That was a long time ago since this was a thing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you got this from Daniel?
Yeah, I believe this is from Daniel Snell. I believe this is from him because he was selling it.
I see.
He was one of the first people I ever spoke to when I joined up. When I joined up on TV Tome.
Yeah, and the buffers here are actually spring.
That's standard on the Hornby J94s.
Yep. I know it. I got this from him because he was. I think I saw it on Facebook, and I bought it from him. It was some years ago. It was like when you guys just said that, I was like, "Oh, I gotta show him." Yeah, and I keep him. He is like one of the most.
My big mouth.
He is one of my most. He is one of my most precious prized possession engines. So I always have him wrapped up.
Good idea.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I have him wrapped up in the bubble wrap that he came in.
Although I must say, whilst I just remembered, because I forgot about some of the other Arsdale engines that never made it to the Railway series, like Jock and Frank. And I do have a place in my heart for Frank, mainly because I remember after I visited the Brecon Mountain Railway when I was very young, my grandparents got me a Ertl model of Frank, and I loved Frank. And then I lost him, and I was very upset about it. And so, and then I was just going like, wait, Frank is in the Railway series? I thought he just.
My first exposure to Frank was from Wooden Railway, and I didn't know he was part of that at the time.
The first time I ever heard about Frank was when I read the Jock the New Engine book, and that's where you see a picture of him for the first time.
Yeah, it was. You mean the illustration, but still, they're technically the same thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Dale, can you say that quiz question again? Because I don't think anybody is responding to that.
Oh yeah, you're right. Thus, I realized the confusion. My apologies. It's my fault.
And delay.
Anyways, hopefully this should be correct.
Daniel, you have caused confusion on July.
That's not bad, Joel. Well done.
That's a mix between Michael Angelis and Keith Wickham.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Go on, Daniel. Go for it.
Shall we? What is the current livery that Donald and Douglas have in the books? A, red. B, yellow. C, green. Or D, blue. Anyways, we're on the subject. Do you have a favorite Thomas toy product?
Any favorite Thomas toy product? Is that what you said?
Yes, to you guys here.
That's a good one. Okay.
I've got one straight away.
Yeah.
Ertl. They were my most favourite. The Ertl engines are my favourite toy products.
Okay, good choice. What about you, Scott?
I'd go for the Hornby and Backward ones.
That's pretty neat too. Toby.
Yeah, either the Hornby or the Ertl for me, especially the Hornby, mainly because after they, stopped them basically forever until basically forever, I started trying to collect a lot more of them, and I basically said to myself, if I'm going to commit to this, like get some, stuff to run on my model railway, then I should limit myself, get a certain amount of these certain characters, and then that's it. And so far, I've only gotten 3. I've got a Hornby Dark, Hornby Thomas, and a Hornby Henry.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but we have a new guest here. Hello, Nicholas.
He's
gone.
That's funny.
Well, that was good.
He didn't connect it.
Hey, bug it off!
Don't say that.
No, I'm just doing a Monty Python joke.
Was that what, Eric Idle?
It was Terry Jones, Michael Palin, and Graham Chapman as the 3-headed giant.
I watched for the first time in at uni for write for feature film module. The Holy Life of Brian. Actually, I prefer the Holy Grail.
I prefer Holy Grail as well. Anyway,
getting back to the subject, oh no, there's no love for the wooden railway. Oh, boo.
I haven't given my answer yet.
Okay.
No, give him a
Somebody's got a question here. Someone called Thomas the Boy. Do you remember the episode when Thomas first met Elizabeth? Yes, we do.
Yes, we all do.
Of course.
Hold on, guys. Joel hasn't had a chance to answer the other question yet.
Yeah.
We've got some. They have actually given some answers. They mostly say blue,
which is correct. They do have the livery blue in the book. So well done to the viewers. That's a correct answer.
Yeah, guys, hold on.
Yep.
Oh, sorry for interrupting, but Joel hasn't said his favourite Thomas items yet.
I know.
So go ahead, Joel.
You're John Tootin, Mr. Ladida.
Disgusting!
Never
have I seen such a decent display of beaten poopery.
Poopery. There is just a disgraceful play of poopery.
You can't get away with poopery nowadays.
That's what you're doing now, lovely boys. You're standing around all day having a cup of tea.
Well, to be honest, we have to take a break sometimes, Sergeant Major.
Take a break.
I can do Windsor Davis as well, Joel.
Can we get back to the favorite toy line question?
It's just very hot, Sergeant Major. It's very hot, Sergeant Major. Especially time for you.
Anyway, favorite franchises or favorite toys: Wooden Railway and Bachman.
You like Wooden Railway?
That I grew up with the Ertl trains, but my favorite was strictly Wooden Railway, and then it evolved into Bachman. I still love both.
I respect you for that, Joel, but don't let Simon A.C. Martin hear you say that.
Why is that?
I think I don't know the full story, but apparently when talking about railway modelling and someone referenced Wooden Railway, Simon Martin bluntly said to him, Wooden Railway is not railway modelling.
Well, technically, Wooden Railway were more or less some kids' toy products. Well, the Bachman and Hornby models were still technically models. Well, granted, the kids can work with the models, except
that's right. He said that they're not models.
Yeah, I mean the Hornby and Bachman are technically far more than toys, whereas Wooden Railway were basically simpler way of playing models, if you will.
Yeah. So Simon, if you're watching, which I know you're not, apologies. You're totally entitled to your opinion.
Absolutely.
I've got a question. I've got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready for this? I know we spoke to Thomas about Thomas franchise. What is your favourite Thomas collector's item product?
Oh,
collector's item.
Collector's item.
I've got one. I'll tell you what it is. It's the Hornby 70th anniversary metallic Thomas.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
That's one of my favourite collector's items, so I'll stick with that one. So we'll go with Ross.
What's my favourite what?
Thomas collector's item product.
Collector's item product.
Yeah, that's it.
It would have to be the limited edition Ertl Rheneas, because that was the first limited edition. That's the first limited edition Ertl.
Yes, the metallic ones. Yes, good choice there, Ross. Okay, we'll go for Daniel next.
Yep, thank you. These are a couple of the limited edition stuff that I got for collector's items. They're all first editions, by the way.
Yeah.
Nice. They're really good.
To be fair, Daniel, that's not much of a brag. You're the Thomas connoisseur collector around here, so we can't match to your.
Although I doubt that I'd be a part of the newly established Thomas Collectors Club on Twitter, but I digress.
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Toby?
Oh, that's an easy one. Although I wouldn't necessarily call this an official collector's item. It's very it's very special to me. It's the complete collection of the first 26 Railway Series books, just titled Thomas the Tank Engine. It's the blue cover with the golden writing on the front. That book's very. It's held together by tape, which I put on years ago, but it means a lot to me because when I was in primary school, I had this teaching assistant, Miss Ferguson, who basically, was basically assigned to help me out because I was young, autistic, and wasn't very aware as I was today. But she had this Railway Series book, and when I was in year 3, every day, every week at school, she read me a new story, and we got to the end of all. We started right from the beginning, and we got through all of them. Although I wanted to start with Mountain Engine Strangely, so we started in the middle, worked our way to the end, and then started from the beginning, or worked our way back to Mountain Engine Strangely enough. But then, when I left primary school, she gave it to me as a gift.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. That book means more to me than any model that I've used for my series, more than any collectible that I've got. It's very special to me in that Thomas sort of way.
Well, yeah, that'll be an exception.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we go on to Joel, is that a poster there, Daniel?
Yep. This is technically the poster of the first Thomas UK VHS from Guild Home Video in 1985.
Wow.
I'm guessing that's the episode. That's the video which had the first half of the Thomas Series 1 episodes.
That's right.
And the first 8.
Yep.
If my memory serves me, isn't that picture also serves as the cover for Thomas's ABC book?
ABC book?
No, that picture also does the first ever Thomas Annual.
Oh, the first ever.
No. The one I'm thinking is a character introduction.
Oh,
for each of them, for Thomas, Edward, Henry, Gordon, James, Percy, Toby, and that picture was used as the cover for a book I have.
Oh, I can't remember, but that picture is also covers. That's also the cover of the first ever annual released.
Well, I bought it 5 years ago on eBay, thanks to Adam Ski for the find on Twitter back then. I grabbed it quickly at I think at a decent price. I'm this lucky. So I still have the VHS of the exact poster too.
Hey.
Yeah. Did we get any replies in the chat related to that Donald and Douglas question?
Yes, we did. They said blue.
Yeah, they all answered blue.
Yes,
blue.
Yes.
Joel hasn't answered his question yet about his favourite Thomas collector's item product.
Oh, of course.
I've got a few here. Firstly, they're both. These first two are banks. One is a ceramic Thomas bank, which I found in a secondhand shop with help from Enterprising Engine 93 back in 2018 when he came up here for Sidekick Jason's wedding. We met. We dropped my mom off at a secondhand shop because that's what she liked to do.
Okay.
And then we hung out, and then we went back to go check up on her. And he came across the bank, and I was like, and yeah, and it was the ceramic bank shaped as Thomas, and for the life of me, I'm still trying to find it. I know it's somewhere in this house.
So you know Enterprising Engine, Joel?
Yeah.
Do you think you could ask him if he wants to be in my series?
I don't know. He's got a lot on his plate right now. He's really got a lot on his plate.
Don't we all?
Exactly, Toby.
I told you about this. Locomotives of British Railways Brighton.
Yeah, we discussed this early on, didn't we?
I still want you as a cast member, Daniel. I just need to get round to that story when I need you.
I'll have to check this series out because I don't think I've seen it before.
What series is this?
Locomotives British Railways Brighton. It's essentially a dark comedy, Trains with Faces, concept of Thomas and Friends and all that, but takes a more dark grounded spin on it. I made it and filmed it back in 2016 and 2017 and released the final episode in 2018. And there is a season 2 on the way. The first season has been completed. There's 5 episodes in total. There's also 2 shorts to go along with it. It's a full cast, so it's not just me voicing the characters. I'm not that stupid. So I've got a full cast together, professional job, and there is a season 2 on the way. But being at uni and finishing off my second year of uni, starting my third year, priorities and all that, and breaking into the industry. But it's what's got me my subscriber count, and we're quite proud of it. So I think all of you guys would definitely enjoy it. Definitely.
Yeah, we'll give it a go.
Please do, because I do want to know what you guys think of it, especially you, Scott, because I've seen your videos for years, so it'd be nice to know what your thoughts are.
Okay. So, what videos? What videos of mine have you seen so far?
Oh, I basically watched everything since your Hero of the Rails review.
Oh, really? So it's been about over 10 years then. Yep. Wow, that's cool.
Have you seen my mini series, Toby?
I mean, I've because you're Harvey the Crane Engine on YouTube, aren't you?
Yeah, I used to be until that first account got suspended, because the video that got me suspended was when me and Scott were working on some Thomas comedy sketch videos, and the video that got me suspended was Something in the Air.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was good.
I played Edward in that series as well as Arthur.
Yes, you did. Yes, I'm still working on season 5 at the moment.
That's fair.
I think Ross is halfway through it, maybe over.
Yeah, I've completed. Let me see. I've completed episode. Let me see. I've completed 6 episodes at the moment.
Also,
I just got to write up the other 4.
So you're 60% through series 5, which is going to be fantastic.
Sorry, guys. Sorry to interrupt, but Jamie Boy 1995. To answer your question, no, Scott is not Steam Team General. He's actually Starbuck Productions, now called
I was Starbuck Productions, but Bekliki Studios.
Yeah.
So
this Scott here is not Steam Team. Nope. I mean, he must be referring to the guy this Steam Team guy who was responsible for the Thomas Quizzes videos and running the mole videos and such.
It's not me.
Anyone heard of the Steam Team at all?
I don't think I've ever heard of this person.
It's Steam Team 3211.
Yeah, Steam Team 3211. Hello, Ben.
Yeah.
Hello, Ben.
Hello.
Now we're you.
Hello.
So the stream's still going on, right?
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
I'm still explaining some of my favorite collectibles
Collector's
here.
items, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
so
carry on.
I have that ceramic Thomas bank, and I have the 10 years of Thomas metal bank, also stored away. It hasn't been given to me yet as a gift because if I know it's there, I just hasn't been given to me yet. My mom, when she bought the 10 years of Thomas VHS, there was a promo to send in a proof of purchase to get the bank.
What is a bank?
It's a metal. It looks like a book, and it locks. It's got a key. It's like a metal.
It's not like a diary, is it?
Is it
Huh?
It's not like a diary, is it? Like with a little lock on. It's not like that, is it?
Is it some kind of like American exclusive term?
I think it was American exclusive. I think. I don't know. But I know that's here. I just hasn't been given to me yet. But here's some of the others. I showed this to you guys earlier. This is one here. It's the first edition.
Wow.
Yeah, with the
It's the first-
orange VHS.
It's red.
A red.
It's red.
Oh, red.
It's red, yeah.
It's red.
I've heard of red. I've heard of red tape. That's the first ever red tape I've actually ever seen.
Yeah, me too.
This is the first edition. I found it in a secondhand shop for 40 cents.
Does it still work?
I have yet to try it, but I hope. But this isn't the only one I found. I also found Better Late Than Ever and Thomas's Christmas Party. I also found here's something else from about 15 years ago.
Is that Diesel?
Dude.
Golden Diesel.
It's the 60 edition. I think it's bronze diesel.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
bronze.
was that from Hooray for Thomas video?
Calling all
With
engines.
60
Calling all
anniversary?
engines.
Steamies versus Diesel.
Calling all engines.
I guess.
Ah.
Really
And
nice.
here's the
Close.
piece.
I have memories of calling all engines.
So do I.
And
So do
this
I.
is a piece de la resistance of my favorite collections so far.
Oh, I know this one.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen that
Some-
before.
Wow!
You're saying, Ben?
I'm just saying, it's awesome.
Yep. And
That's
here's
fantastic.
the little flap.
Is it just me on my team double? Get it?
Let's try it.
I've had this in the case for the last 5 years, and this is the first time I pulled it out. And it was one of my.
I was just like, is it just me or am I seeing double? Get it?
Have you been watching S Club 7 again?
You could say that.
That reminds me. Daniel, I have a Thomas history question for you, real quickly.
Okay.
Was the model that Wilbert made for Christopher was that made before or after he met with Edmund Ward about publishing the books?
I think it's sort of before he had the first 3, now 4 stories of the 3 railway engines published in 1945. The wooden toy of Thomas was made around the Christmas of 1942.
Yeah, because didn't he meet Edmund Ward in 1942, but they couldn't publish immediately because of wartime conditions and shortage of paper?
Yep.
Okay, so like he met Edmund Ward first, like in 1942, some point in 1942, to discuss publishing, and they did. And then shortly afterwards, after he bought the copyright, then Wilbert made that model.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much for the clarification.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, shall we read this little piece of history here? Okay. Did you know that before he was a cheeky little engine, we made today, the very first Thomas toy was carved from a broom handle? Thomas has come a long way since his humble beginnings. This special edition pack lets you enjoy a replica Thomas engine, just like the very first one, along with a new engine celebrating Thomas's rich heritage of friendship.
Daniel, you should write poetry.
Generation there, impression there. Anyone remember Robin Smith on Thomas DVDs in America?
No, I
Oh
don't.
yeah,
The
Robin
what?
Smith. Yeah, he was for the Thomas DVDs here in America. Were narrated by Robin Smith. He was the same one that did the CD-ROM games here in the US too.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Do you
God.
remember that, Ben?
Oh, God, you can't beat a
Like the
kick-ass
trailers,
CD-ROM.
Do you mean like the trailers?
No, he did the voiceover for the DVDs.
And PC games.
Yeah, and the PC games.
Oh, you cannot beat a classic
Yeah, I see what you
kick-ass
mean, yeah,
CD-ROM. Gotta love a kick-ass CD-ROM.
I'll be right back.
Hello, I am Sir Topham Hatt. Thomas and his friends welcome you to the island of Sodor.
I control that. I'm the Fat Controller, director of the Northwest Railway.
No, I'm the Fat Controller.
You're
I am Sir Chopper Match, head of the
I'm
Northwestern
the Fat
Railway.
Controller.
I beg your pardon.
Oh my God, and Jerry.
We have entered the Tophamverse.
Right.
I think you'll find my name is Bertram.
I'm sorry, but what on earth did I stumble into?
Hello, Fin Controller.
Okay, this is
What's in
actually
here?
a very good impression coming from.
Toby,
Thanks.
What's happening?
Toby,
Hello.
your voice of Sir Topham Hatt sounds a bit like the voice of Sir Topham Hatt that's used in my recent Big World Big Adventures audio stories. You sound like Tom Allmark's voice of Sir Topham Hatt.
Really?
Yeah, you may have heard that Tom Allmark, he voices the Fat Controller in my audio stories. Daisy and the Turntable, Rosie's Nightmare, Percy and Nia, A Visit from Lexi, and Where Did Mavis Go? You said your voice of the Fat Controller sounds a bit like his.
Well, I mean, I can do a lot more voices. Actually, one of my
Look at
dreams
Scott
is to be able to. Oh, hello, Scott. He's got a beautiful celebratory Thomas metallic.
That's right.
It is gorgeous. How did you get that? Where did you get that? I must
I
know.
got a UK website called tootlythomas.co.uk.
I've heard that one. I'm going to try and get Batman Toby from that.
I think that's still available on the website.
Yeah, they are. That's Henriette's they haven't got right now.
Okay.
But Ross, what you're saying, if you'd like, some help with voices, I can do a variety of voices, and also it's my dream to just have more collaborations within this community. But nobody ever asks.
Which characters do you love to have a go at voicing?
I definitely like to have a challenge. I like to voice characters that are voices that are not like mine. So like the Fat Controller's voice, Donald and Douglas's voice, like some of the posher characters like Edward or Gordon, even some of the Cockney ones. I know a lot of interpretations interpret James as Northern from his Lancaster roots, but I do like the Cockney version of him as well.
Have you ever tried doing female voices before?
Female voices depends. It depends who you're trying. Like if you wanted to ask me to do like Cat Valentine from Victoria's. Hi, I'm Cat Valentine.
Wow, nice.
Okay, Toby, hang on.
Toby, would you be interested in voicing any characters from the season 9 to 11 era? The new characters from that era.
Like who?
Well, let's see. Neville, Dennis, Mighty Mac, Rocky, Jeremy, Freddie.
I would love to voice Rocky.
Okay, Rocky, we need your help. This is an emergency.
I'm ready and waiting, Edwards.
Oh, that's really good.
Ross, I think you should give him the part.
Well, if I've got Rocky in one of my episodes, that is.
But I can also,
exactly. Yeah.
But I can also, I'm also, love to do some other stuff. Like I can almost imagine sort of like Neville, sort of like being, very sort of like thinking before he's, not thinking before he comes out, but also a bit confused.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Can you do Neville's line from the episode Best Friends?
Just give me a lead in, please.
Okay. Just then, Neville arrived. He was very excited. Dude.
The brass band is arriving at Brendan Docks.
That's a good. That's good. I've got an order.
I like the brass band.
I love
So do I. But I've never asked to build them. Tell you what, I've actually got an audio story called. I've actually got a Neville story idea I want to try and do at some point. Probably not till next year. If I could probably send you the script for that somewhere near the time, and you can tell me what you think of it, and if you'd like to have a go at it.
I would be absolutely delighted, Ross.
Yeah. Can you do any accents? Any other accents?
Well, I've been told that Glaswegian accents are some of the hardest accents to pull off, but I think I do one pretty well. So I would love to apply this to, like a Duncan or a Harvey or of course my favourite characters, the Scottish twins.
Can you do a David Tennant impression?
David Tennant does a lot of voices. I could do his Scottish voice. I'm Dr. James McKimmon from the Time Ship of Balamory.
Well, that's okay. That is very good because I can do David Tennant as well.
That's impressive.
Do you want to hear my David Tennant?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Okay. Ask me. You took your name. Is it from Neil Tennant? You took your name from? Ask me that question.
Is it Neil Tennant that you took your name from?
It's what it is. I was 16 when I joined Equity, the Actors Union, and there's a rule that says there's not allowed to be two different actors with the same name. So David McDonald, being my real name, was disallowed. So you get a 16. Where you put a new name from? It's allowed to smash hits. Because that's what you mean when you're 16, isn't it?
Wow.
But what's the TARDIS's top speed?
Well, it's irrelevant. As it's time.
I can also do a West Country accent, sort of like Duck, like he was in the CGI series. Like, oh dear, looks like you two got some of the bar coal that arrived today. I've been sent to get some fresh coal to replace it.
I was actually going to say bar coal.
Same here.
Let me try. I'm going to try this for the very first time. I want to give it a go. It's I want to try Scarlowy's Welsh voice.
Go for it.
What I am going to tell you, no one else must know. Luke hides here in the Blue Mountain Quarry because he is scared. Because long ago, Luke did something very bad, and he's worried that if anyone finds him, he'll be sent away from Sodor forever.
That's brilliant.
That's fantastic. That's really good.
That almost sounds closer to Bradford for some reason.
Right to the moment, I'm in charge now, so nobody and none of your cheek.
But we like to bump everyone.
Not on my watch, matey. This is now above a free zone. Oh dear, house, never mind. I know that, Roberts.
How's that?
That is hilarious. Right, guys, hold on. You said your subject. Daniel needs to have his say in that.
All right. Yeah. Would you like to hear it again?
Yes.
Go on.
Oh dear, how sad. Never mind.
Hold on. Hang on. Let me try it. Right. Get ready. Look for it.
Also, I can do a really good Baldrick impression from Blackadder.
Hold on. I was going to do my Sergeant Major Williams impression.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I can't really see you without my glasses, Sergeant Major.
Yeah, let's try that again, Russ. Hold on.
I can't really see you without my glasses, Sergeant Major.
Oh dear. Oh, sad. Never mind. Here I am.
I haven't done my Sergeant Major Williams voice yet.
No, go for it. Let us have a go.
Okay. I'm just trying to. I know.
Anyway, shall we move on to a little bit of story time?
Just give us a chance. Just give us the chance, then we'll do the story. Hold on.
Right. I was going to give you an opportunity to have a go at your Sergeant Major. Right. Go on then. Try to beat. Go on, you're afraid of! My body's back! Get up! Get up! Get back in line! Get back in line! No! General, I promise you!
General, did you start to major?
Shut up! I have one at a time! Right, Joe! Okay, what are you going to say, Daniel?
He's going to do some story time.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Story time.
Story time.
Are we all good?
Yes, we're good. As gold.
It's on Thomas' 75th birthday. Best story ever.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
It's the best birthday ever!
Ow.
That sounds like your take on Philip.
Thomas and Friends. Best story ever by Christy Webster. Illustrated by Tommy Stubbs. It was a very special day on the island of Sodor. It was Thomas's birthday. Thomas and friends couldn't wait to celebrate. They each had a very special delivery to make for the big birthday party.
Rebecca stands out like a sore thumb.
Don't you dare insult.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Although, is it true that Emily has recently received her number?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
Because I've not been keeping in touch with whatever's been going on in the show.
Yeah,
Look up
she
season 24, Emily to the rescue.
Okay,
Yeah.
looking it up.
Anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat who hasn't seen Emily to the Rescue? Sorry if we've spoiled it.
No, so you hadn't.
That's
revealed the whole plot,
thank God. Thank God, that is good.
other than the fact that Emily did receive.
Yeah,
her
back to story. Come on.
so
Story time.
Yep, back to the story. Percy was coupled with a flatbed so he could pick up the cake. Rebecca was hooked up to 2 coaches so she could pick up the party guests. Emily was joined with 1 flatbed and 1 coach so she could pick up the band and the instruments. I wonder what they're doing today to make a. I wonder what they're going to be to make us biggest party ever. Let's find out. But when the station master arrived, he looked very confused. "I'm sorry, engines," he said. "I've lost my schedule for today. One of you is supposed to go to the docks, 1 to Knapford, and 1 to the castle. But I don't remember who needs to go there." The engines decided to split up and try their best. They wanted Thomas to have the best birthday ever. I don't wonder what's happening next. Percy went to Knapford first. "Is the cake here?" he asked the porters. There's no cake here," said the man. "We're the band." He tooted his horn happily. "Can you give us a ride to the party, Percy?" Percy didn't have any coaches, only a flatbed. I can take your instruments," he said. Percy jogged away with the instruments. He wondered if he could have time to pick up the cake. Suddenly, Harold flew by. "Harold, can you help?" Percy asked. "I'm supposed to pick up the cake for Thomas. I don't know where it is. It must be at the docks or at the castle." "I'll do my best," Harold said. He wanted Thomas to have, all together, guys, the best
birthday ever.
Harold the helicopter flyer of the sky, rise to the rescue, should help be required.
There were some activities here that's included in the books, including stickers and party games and such. Before we move on to the next part, here we are. Meanwhile, Rebecca arrived at the castle, hoping to find the party guests, but she only saw the baker. "This pig needs to get to Thomas's party," the baker said. Plus, it is late. Rebecca only had coaches. She wasn't sure how to carry the cake. Just then, Harold arrived. I'll take the cake, he said. I think Percy needs help at Knapford with the band. Rebecca hurried away.
Something's going to go wrong.
When is
Without
it
a doubt.
Yeah,
We have to wait and see.
Yeah, let's wait and see. Emily found the party guest waiting at the docks. Get these guests to the party, Cranky said. But I only have one coach, Emily said. I can take half. Half the guests quickly climbed in. The conductor welcomed the passengers, took their tickets, and helped them find their seats. The porters carried the luggage. All the engines hurried as fast as they could with their cargo. They wanted Thomas to have the
best birthday.
More activities. Yay.
Cue the Coronation Scott theme.
Yay. Oh, and here's more to the story. When the engines arrived at the party, they saw the station master there. What are we missing? He asked. The band is here, said Rebecca. I've got the instruments, Percy. And here comes Harold with the cake. I've got some of the guests, added Emily. Oh no, the rest of the guests. Half of them were still at the docks, waiting to be picked up. Oh no!
Oh,
Wait, they've got the instruments. It's like that band aeroplane. That's impossible. They're on instruments.
Must be a confusion and delay, no doubt. All the engines raced back to the docks. They wanted to be sure that all of Thomas's guests would make it to the party. Time was running out.
Death.
boom, boom, boom.
Plot twist.
Gusp. But when they arrived at the docks, they only saw balloons. Hundreds of balloons. The guests were already on their way, Cranky said. But here, take these guests and as many as those balloons as you can. They are a surprise for Thomas. Hurry! The engines hurried back to the party, with their coaches and flatbeds overflowing with balloons. When they arrived, they were the ones to be surprised. There was Thomas with the other guest. I saw these guests waiting at the docks, said Thomas. They needed a special ride. Hooray! Rebecca, Emily, and Percy cheered. All together, guys. Happy birthday, Thomas!
And many more.
Thomas loved the balloons. He loved the cake. He loved the band. He loved the whole party. He didn't know the engines had such a mixed up day. Thomas only knew that it was, all together, guys, the best
birthday
ever.
That sounds lovely.
Best birthday I've ever had.
The end.
Yay.
Best birthday ever.
That would.
That's all, folks.
Thank you.
The TTFN and the Tata now. Shoot, that's the wrong franchise.
Was that Porky Pig?
What do you think?
Was that Porky Pig?
I don't
Possibly.
know. I don't know.
Well, I've got something to say.
Different
You're
opinion.
despicable.
I'm not whatever you said. I'm a
You know,
Oh,
you know,
what's
I
that
could,
guy?
Anyways,
I could do a really great impression of Parker from Thunderbirds.
Oh, so can I.
Can someone lead me in, please?
Okay. Let me think.
Like, just say, like, ask to bring the car around or something.
Oh, hang on. I'm trying to think of a good
Alright,
line.
but
Just give me a minute.
okay, we'll give you a minute.
Trying to think of a line. Hang on.
While you're thinking of that, what's the next on Daniel's agenda?
Oh, never mind. Go on. You just do Parker. Just do Parker. I'll
just
notify as well.
just tell me to bring the car around, Scott.
Bring the car around, Parker.
Sorry, Master Scott, but I appear to have hit a slight snag.
That's
Do you want me? Sorry, Master John, but I had a bit of a slight snag.
Da.
okay. Toby.
Yes, Ross.
Me and Scott have actually met David Graham, the voice of Parker.
We
And
did.
I now hate your guts. I'm joking.
There are a couple of David Graham voices that me and Scott can do that work in the same scene.
What's you got here?
Don't say
Oh, beautiful image.
Wow.
Wow.
That looks like a season 10 picture.
I say
Is that-
9.
But what were you saying, Scott? I mean Ross and Scott.
Me and there are a couple of David Graham voices that me and Scott can do that from the Mighty Atom.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I need
yeah,
someone to say, I wonder where those cold drinks have got to.
Sure, I wonder where those cold drinks have got to.
It is my duty to serve the drinks at Mr. Parker.
Yes. Well, I thought you'd like to know how it should be done.
I have had no complaints on my services from Mr. Tracy so far.
Oh, I can't remember the line.
Oh, and I'm quite sure that he appreciates that you're doing it to the best of your ability.
Busy, QLU.
I always have the honor to serve in this household.
Yes, but you do always have a
but
bad
you don't always have a butler full of hidden stately herbs.
Forgive me, but I insist.
Take your midst of magic. Well, we're gonna get thirsty.
Me and Scott, we've met.
No, let's talk
David
of
Graham.
thirsty. The
We've
drink
met-
is making me thirsty.
We've met Shane Rimmer. We've met Matt Zimmerman, and I got to meet in 2015 Jeremy Wilkin.
Nice.
Well, you see, the celebrities that I've met, or the actor celebrities I've met, they're not really ones that I don't think this crowd would be very interesting. But I've met quite a few, actually. I've met quite a few of the doctors: Paul McGann, Sylvester McCoy, Colin Baker, Peter Davison. But I've also met a variety of other people, like Tom Hooper from Umbrella Academy, Jamie Clayton from Sense8, Bernard Cribbins on my behalf.
Ross was going to meet Bernard Cribbins in London at the end of February, but he got cancelled at the last minute.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
we were going to meet Jimmy Campbell-Boa. He was going to be there, but that was also.
Oh yeah, and also met Maisie Williams.
So,
Maisie who?
Maisie Williams. Maisie Williams.
Oh yeah, Maisie Williams. She was in
Game of Thrones. Doctor Who.
Yes, I remember.
And she's
the most celebs I meet is from Power Rangers.
I've actually met.
Actually, you know what? On the subject of Power Rangers, I was going to do something funny, Scott, because you know how in SPD the Omega Ranger doesn't share his face until the final scene.
Yes, I do.
Well, I was exactly going to do that before I leave. I was just going to show my face real briefly at the end of the chat and like, bye.
Yeah, but last year, I've met my favourite Yellow Ranger of all time for the first time ever, and she was my top number one favourite.
The person who plays Taylor in Wild Force?
No.
She's like the best Yellow Ranger ever.
Mm-mm.
Is it one of the original Mighty Morphin ones? Of course, not Fury.
Quite.
Not Fury Train, because unfortunately she's not with us.
She's
anymore.
dead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
car accident in 2003. The person who played Aisha.
She's in my top 5, but no.
I don't know. Tell me.
Oh, hang on. Shall I give you a clue?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's like the power was transferred on the Turbo.
Is it the one who played Ashley?
Yes,
And then she was in space as well.
that's it. Yeah, she's my number one favourite Yellow Ranger ever, and I got to meet her in person last year at Liverpool, and I'm actually friends with her.
Oh, interesting. No, that actually is really cool, and actually that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I've never had any time for Power Rangers, but it is like up there for me. Not my top 10.
No, I completely understand that. I respect that. But my hero Power Ranger is Tommy, Jason David
Frank. Yeah.
I met him 3 times. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, Toby. I've actually met one of the voice actors from the Thomas and Friends CGI series.
Oh, very good for you, man.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Do you want me to give you a clue? Do you want me to give you a clue, Toby?
Not particularly.
Oh, okay. I have met Teresa Gallagher.
Who?
Yes.
Who do they play?
Emily Bell, Lady Hat, Annie and Clarabelle. She voiced Rosie from season 13 to 16.
Mavis.
Honestly, Ross, I'm not that down in the rabbit hole to know who all the voice actors for the Thomas CGI series actually are.
Because Teresa Gallagher voiced Eos and a load of characters in the CGI Thunderbirds Are Go series.
Yes.
That's actually quite interesting because I've heard that the person who voiced Virgil and Gordon in Thunderbirds Are Go also voices the American version of Porter.
And Jack. And he voiced Stanley.
David Mencken.
The voice of Scott and Alan Tracy from Thunderbirds Are Go. He voices Philip.
Rasmus Hardiker.
Wait,
yes,
really?
They're both on not just one TV show, but 2.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
There's a couple other shows I think he's in that I saw clips of. He's
World
in
Class.
Hilda as like a little gnome or something.
Who was that? Who's that?
Rasmus Hardiker. He's
Speaking
like
of
in the show
Hilda.
Hilda, and I think in the new iteration of Danger Mouse, he's Count Duckula.
No way. Count Duckula. Oh my gosh. I love the cards. I love the original cartoon.
Another cartoon. I think he's talking about the newer version of Danger Mouse with Alexandra Armstrong.
Yeah,
Right,
I know.
exactly.
Yes, I know. I'm just telling Joel that I love the original cartoon of Count Duckula.
Alexander Armstrong, the guy who voiced Mr. Smith in the Sarah Jane Adventures, and also is the host of
Present
Pointless.
was Pointless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Power Rangers, I think last year I met the Red Power Ranger, Austin St. John.
No way.
Wow.
Cool.
He's
I
returning.
wanted to meet him because he's another one of my favourites.
He's returning. He's going to be returning in Beast
Yes,
Wars.
he is.
Guys,
He's
look what
returning.
Daniel's got. Look what Daniel's got.
He's coming back.
What?
Oh
That's right, folks. The naughty gnomes are back to haunt your dreams.
It's the naughty
And
gnome.
steal your wheels and pinch your funnels.
But
Oh my gosh, the gnomes are, guys,
Garden
it's
gnome.
official. The gnomes are
Garden
officially
gnomes.
returning for series 24 or 5.
Huh? Sorry,
Where did
what?
you hear that, Ben?
No, I was just making a stupid joke.
So when we was talking about Austin St. John, I actually can't wait for his big return on Beast Morpher Season 2.
I'm kind of worried about that because they're doing a Dino team up, but they got Austin St. John, like 4 of the Dino Charge, and that's pretty much it in person. I know, like you have others from like the Dino Charge, Dino Thunder team, and other members of Dino Charge and the other Mighty Morphins, but it'll just be them in the suits, not the original actors.
Well, Austin St. John is the only original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers actor to return on the episode. That's what I've read. In my opinion, they should have had Walter Jones, David Jost, and all that.
Yeah, I know. We've only really got Tyler, Coda, Chase, and Ivan in person. That's all we've got for to represent Dino Charge.
Yeah, I think there's 4 of them.
We're wondering these were the authentic TV props here.
Also, hang on a minute. We've diverted. Why are we talking about Power Rangers? We're supposed to be celebrating 75 years of our favorite number one.
I've got a very interesting question about Thomas. Have any of you ever? My question is: have any of you ever submitted any Thomas material and had it put on TV or magazines or things anywhere or live on TV?
Never.
Because I remember Daniel, because
Joel worked on the TCC for the YouTube channel.
Well, that's like what you did.
Because what I'm referring to, Daniel, because if you remember when Series 6 aired on CITV, you after A Friend in Need was on, there was you sent a picture of Thomas, Percy, and James, and it got shown.
The vintage lorry.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I
still have it on video.
I remember.
I mean, to be honest, I've had greater ambitions than that.
All right, because I remember when I actually wrote a Thomas poem, and it actually got put into one of the Thomas magazines.
Oh, well done!
Cool.
No kidding.
It's true. I wrote a poem about.
Yes, you showed me. I remember now. Yeah, you showed me years ago.
Yeah, and I got Ertl Toby as a special prize.
Ooh.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like, I'm very delighted for obvious reasons that Christopher Audrey's favorite character is Toby. I like how
that's cool.
Well, because I liked how his reasoning for that is because he said that to his father, Wilbert, the engines were like his extended family, and in family you don't have favourites according to Wilbert. But Christopher didn't have that same restrictions because they weren't his family. So he said that Toby was his favourite, and also because an engine like Toby was apparently the very first engine he got a footplate ride on.
Uh-oh, what happened to Scott?
Oh my God, Scott's vanished.
He's probably He's probably received a call from Thunderbird 5. He's got to take off in Thunderbird 1.
No.
Wait, what was that? I couldn't.
He made a Thunderbird joke.
What did you say?
Ross, maybe.
Now he's back.
Oh.
What happened, dude?
Sorry, I was looking at something. It just cut me off. Sorry, guys.
I just thought that you had to. Scott, I just thought you had to head back to the RPM dimension in Corinth.
RPM.
Because I was going to say, what I want to talk about Christopher Audrey, one of his characters never actually made it into the books. Barry the Rescue Engine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, did he though? I mean, the thing is that he never made it into the books, but the character themselves, I mean, he's appeared in various interpretations and mediums. Like, there's been like model adaptations for Barry the Rescue Engine. Warner Wester did a very good Barry the Rescue Engine story. Even very own when they interpret, because he's either an Ivert to a Ivert Mogul, a J94 Austerity, or he's a standard 4 MT tank. Either one of those is Barry's basis, but most people seem to interpret him as the Ivert.
Okay. Well, yeah, we heard about that one, didn't we? I wonder if there's any viewers that's got any questions for us.
Yeah, just in general, just like to say hi, because we'll probably say hi back to you, just, to be friendly and all that.
Okay. Well, okay. Favorite. Okay, I've got everyone. I've got a question for everyone. Favorite Thomas anniversary episode.
Well, what counts as anniversary episodes?
Okay, okay. Or special
Like specials?
episodes.
Well, if it's specials, that's easy. It's The Adventure Begins.
Yeah. Okay.
What are we talking about now?
Favorite special?
Favorite Thomas anniversary special.
What's yours, Ben?
Yeah, I'm probably. It's heavily flawed, but I'm gonna say The Adventure Begins.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of flawed. I know what you mean by that.
Yeah.
Not just with Henry Shape and all that, but some ways of how they executed certain elements of it.
Yeah.
Adapting the books, but the thing is that full of time, it was a fabulous effort on Nitrogen's part.
I wasn't Nitrogen. That was.
Sorry, I meant Arc. It was Arc in my head, but I said Nitrogen for some reason. I guess I missed them. I don't know why I said that.
It's all right.
Who wants to say their favourite one next?
Favorite special?
Yeah, go on, Joel.
There's a number of them. I'd have to say, well, Adventure Begins would be kind of almost a cop-out. No offense. But I'd have to say Tale of the Brave is one of my top favorites.
Yeah, see, that's a good one. If I wasn't going to go for The Adventure Begins, I would have probably gone for The Great Race.
Wait, we're talking about like specials in general?
Yeah, specials in general, from like Magic Railroad to...
Oh, well then can I change my answer?
Yeah, sure.
I thought we were talking about anniversary specials.
Yeah, but we didn't define what was an anniversary special.
We'll just do it to any special.
Okay, this is going to be heavily controversial, but I don't care. My favorite or Sumi.
You broke up something fierce. You broke up something fierce, man. Can you repeat that?
I said my answer is Journey Beyond Sodor.
That's a bad film. That's a good film.
I liked it.
Yeah,
that's one of my top favorites.
Honestly,
I saw that one 5 times in the cinema.
Interesting.
I think I felt
is enough for me. My favourite is well, it has to be my favourite of all time. It has to be Hero of the Rails.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because I like Hero, because he's like my most favourite character at the CGI universe of Thomas and Friends.
Yeah. Oh, on that note, Ross, voices I wouldn't do. I would never try and do a voice of a character that's from a foreign country. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. I'd feel like it'd be culturally sensitive.
Okay, I understand that.
I kind of have a soft spot for Hero of the Rails as well, because that's the only Thomas movie I've seen in theaters.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a good. Oh, hang on. Who hasn't said their one there?
I think it was me.
I haven't either.
My favorite Thomas special of any kind would be a tie between The Great Discovery and Blue Mountain Mystery.
Blue Mountain Mystery is a good one.
Yeah, good choices there.
Yeah. The rest are pretty good, with the exception of Day of the Diesels, which I felt was all right, but the execution could have been mended a lot.
Yeah.
But,
what are you doing?
He's taking these pencils and using them as like Wolverine claws.
I'm not Wolverine.
I am vengeance.
I'm Eraserine.
I am vengeance. I am the knight. I am Batman. As Kevin Conroy
actually, do you want to hear my Wolverine?
Go for it.
Go on.
All right.
My name is Wolverine. I'm the best there is at what I do. But what I do isn't very nice.
Hey, watch it, bub.
I'm working on it, Bob.
Well, who hasn't mentioned their favourite Thomas special? Who hasn't mentioned it?
I have.
Who hasn't?
I haven't.
No.
I'm torn between two.
Ross goes first. Yeah, let Ross go first and let Toby go.
No, I've already said mine.
Oh, sorry. Go on, Ross. Go for it.
I'm torn between two. I'm
Go on.
torn between King of the Railway and The Great Race.
Oh,
I
they're
disagree with
good.
The Great
They're
Race.
good films.
Okay.
Those are all
the
three
reason
of my
why-
top.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good one. Oh, I've
Yeah,
got a good question, but I'll let you finish, Ross, first.
Okay. The reason why I enjoyed The King of the Railway mostly is because it was officially Andrew Brenner's first ever special he wrote on his own, and it introduced a great load of new characters. There was load of there was a load of references to the classic series, good songs. The plot was already thought up, and the reason why I love The Great Race is because I just love the international characters, the idea of the Great Railway Show, the songs,
Yeah.
Ashima. But the main reason,
It's like a musical, isn't it?
But you know,
the main
on the subject of the Great Race and Ashima, I was very shocked because it was actually in that same year. One of my favorite television shows of all time is this Netflix original called Sin's 8, and one of the characters in that is an Indian doctor, and she's played by the same voice actor as Ashima, and that was. I was like, where have I heard that voice before? Oh my god, it's Ashima.
Are you trying to?
I was also going to say the main reason why The Great Race is a big favourite of mine is because that film helped cheer me up, and it took my mind off my pain when my mum passed away a month before it hit the cinemas. So it really cheered me up. It was the one film that really, it was the one special that really cheered me up and took my mind off my mum's passing.
I went with you when we went to see that, didn't I? We always go together.
Yeah, The Great Race came in a very interesting time in my life because it was basically an interlude between college years, sort of like a gap year. It was kind of sort of like an up and down year, but also like it was when I was starting to write locomotives of British Railways, and I also just really got into the idea of the first musical, Thomas, and I just really took to that. And actually, that brings me on to a question I want to present to the group.
Okay.
What is your favorite Thomas song?
I've got
all together now.
I've got a few, but I'll give you one. Okay? The Island Song.
That makes me cry.
I know, but I love it. It's my favorite ever Thomas song.
Joel?
Have any of you ever seen Mel Sherry's impromptu Thomas rapes?
I think so, yeah.
It's on Twitter. Look it up. And one of them ends with them listening to the Island Song, and they're he and all the other guys that are dancing are all sobbing and crying and like eating ice cream, like this is my childhood. I want to be young again.
Oh, we all know.
Love that.
Ross?
I've got quite like Scott. I've got a few, but one of my favourites is
I think I know what it is.
It's not that's all right. I'll give you two.
Go on.
First of all, there's no one quite like Emily.
I thought so.
And the second one is 5 New Engines in the Shed.
That's a good one.
Oh yes, that's a good one. That's from season 7, isn't it?
Yeah, because when I first heard about 5 New Engines in the Shed song, I actually thought they were going to talk about all 5 new characters from series 7, but instead they just did Emily, Arthur, and Murdoch from season 7, and Salty and Harvey from season 6.
Yeah.
My if I was to pick one from the Models era, it would be Night Train, without a doubt.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's a lovely song.
In fact, I like it so much. I've been trying to do a Locomotive British Railways style adaptation of the music video, but when I started, I faced so many problems with lighting, so that's kind of on hold. But in terms of CGI songs, I think it would have to go to Never Overlook a Little Engine, not just because for the kind of message that it says, but also I think from a technical music standpoint, it's the best. because it's a full orchestra. It sounds very sort of 20s-esque, and the extended version has some really great brass and violins and cellos, and I just think it just sounds amazing.
Somebody put this out as like when they heard that is like they could imagine Tim Whitnall, Keith Wickham, and Tom Storton all wearing top hats and canes as they were singing that.
That would have worked.
Yeah, we're doing canes and then like putting their legs right up and down, doing dance moves, and just moving completely in sync with one another.
I think my favorite songs, first off from the model series, that's kind of actually a toss-up between Island Song and That's What Friends Are For.
Oh yeah, I love that one as well.
Toss-up between those two. And my favorite CGI one is from the movie Big World, Big Adventures.
Sometimes You Make a Friend.
I cried.
I know that is emotional but wonderful song.
So I was like, oh my gosh, and the way John Hassler just sings it, there you can hear the power, the passion, the emotion that he throws himself into, and that's why I think he is like the best Thomas right now because. He knows how to sing, and I love it.
Because it gives you emotion, and because when he sings it, he feels a lot of guilt in him, doesn't he? That's why he was singing it to get it out of his boiler.
He's probably singing it that way because he knows deep down that the Thomas franchise is going to go kaput.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Hang on, Ben's got something to say.
I still haven't gotten a chance to say my favorite song yet.
Go ahead.
No, go for it. All
right. So basically, my personal favorite Thomas song, it kind of ranges in between I Want to Go Home from Journey Beyond Sodor and Sometimes You Need a Friend from Big World, Big Adventures.
Yeah.
Those are good choices.
That's a good choice. They're good choices.
For me, in the model series, when it's not the Island Song or Love Train or it had to be the Red Balloon. It's very common.
Yes, that's a good one.
Although I would love to give some honourable mentions to Let's Have a Race, Harold the Helicopter, and also Little Engines, but not the original Little Engines. The one that was Junior Campbell or Michael O'Donnell, one of those two, they sang it and they released it on their YouTube channel in 2017.
Yes, I love that.
That version of the song I like. Look it up.
Little Engines.
Yeah, it's Little Engines, and it's
I think it was Mike O'Donnell.
It was Michael. Yeah, one of the original composers of the series.
I'll check it out on YouTube. I'll give it a look.
You know what he recently released?
Yeah, unreleased music that was going to be used for the series that was never heard before.
Well, not just that. He finally released a full-on clean version of That's What Friends Are For.
Yes. Excuse me.
Hey, Daniel's got something.
If we're on... Oh, here we are.
Japanese.
What the flipping heck?
Japanese.
Nani?
He is very... he is very popular in Japan.
Mm.
On
the subject...
Anyways, this is a latest Cancer Thomas Studio DVD from Japan. It's Sony Creative Products Incorporated. It has 15 episodes selected from Series 1 to Series 16, starting with Thomas and Gordon, and all the way to Happy Birthday, Sir, in Series 16.
Oh, not Happy Birthday, Sir. Not Happy Birthday, Sir, in Series 16. That's one of the worst episodes of Series 16 ever.
Well, at least it had At least it had something to do with birthdays. It had something to do with birthdays, so why not?
No offense, Scott, but it's just that I just didn't like the repetitiveness in that story.
Series
That's
12
true.
through 16.
That's true.
Repetitiveness. That's Shannon Miller's mantra.
Oh,
But
annoying, isn't it?
Happy Birthday Sir was all right. If it wasn't for the 3-strike formula thing, your usual thing.
And the endless poetry.
Okay. The one thing I did like about it as an exception was the flashback to the young back controller story about that coach. Didn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, hello to the girl who's just joined the live chat who said, "Greetings, everyone. Hope you have had a splendid day."
Howdy,
Hello.
Flute.
That's me.
Hello, Blue Girl.
Who's Murphy Hot?
Who's it? Who is it?
Glute
Blue
Girl.
Girl 22406.
Hiya.
So,
Hi, Glute Girl.
that reminds me of something that happened to me recently at uni. I was standing up in a presentation to present to people, and I said, "Hello, everybody," and my mate Yasmin, in a quiet audience, just shouted, "Hi!"
Right.
Actually, me and Yasmin, last year, we did a binge watch the first season of Thomas because we hadn't watched it in ages. And her reaction to Thomas's oh shit face in Thomas's trade was absolutely priceless. That face gives you nightmares.
Oh, what the Thomas looked back bit. Why bless me?
He said, we haven't left them behind. Oh god, yeah. Now I just got a mental picture, and I'm terrified again.
The way Thomas was his mouth. The way Thomas is mouth.
Whoa! Hang on! Shush, guys. Is that a copy of the Thomas the Tank Engine Man by Blind Sublimajig?
Brian Sibley, actually.
That's the documentary. Yeah, that's the documentary book he put together for the Reverend W. Audrey. That's
of course, it is the updated version back in 2015 to celebrate.
Have you
used that book for research for Steaming to Legacy?
Yep, one of those books I did research alongside sort of reading between the lines, I think, and as well as some websites, like mostly the Soda Island fan site.
Is that all the sources? Is that all the sources that you use to do your research? Did you also use Thomas? Did you also use
Yeah. Anyway, this is the acknowledgements page that has my name on it. You see it?
Wait, how did you manage to get involved in that, writing that book?
Long stories, but I was around the time when I got into contact with Brian Sibley at that time by email, and he asked me to help, and simply helps him with gathering some useful information to update his book.
Have you got his email address? Because he seems to be quite a historian on the subject, and I'm doing something related to its history, and I could really use some expertise.
I'll probably pass it on to you later on, but not without checking with Brian first.
Oh, okay.
That's true. You need permission.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I don't want.
I've actually got that book, Daniel. I've got that book.
Yeah. Although Sam Wilkinson did a majority of the involvement for the rewriting of this book, also that he told me. Hence, his name was also acknowledged. I mean, Sam Wilkinson, decent guy actually, in spite of the some shenanigans he had to go through.
What shenanigans?
You really don't know, do you, Toby?
Usual Twitter drama crap.
Wait, seriously, can someone just get me into the loop of this, because I'm not feeling very weaved.
Basically, he did a lot of unforgivable crap that I still haven't really forgiven him for.
Wait, who did unforgivable crap?
Sam Wilkinson.
And Sam Wilkinson, he's important.
The railway consultant.
He's the railway consultant for the show.
Yeah, he's the railway
fan first.
Oh, so he was a fan of the series first, and he's the railway consultant for the series, for the CGI series. But he wasn't doing that. Well, he didn't do a very good job, it seems.
Well, not just that, but one of the things I heard is he and Sean O'Connor, have been flaunting the fact that they have access to all the original models and have, just to spite the fans, placed some new ones at Drayton Manor.
I highly doubted that to be true. If I were,
That's one thing I've heard.
If I may be so bold, that just sounds rather ridiculous of a situation. Like just to get a bit testy about.
That's just one of many that I've heard about.
Yeah. Should we move on before it's escalating? Because I don't want to talk about it.
That's a good idea. Let's move on.
What were we talking about before Daniel showed us his book? We were talking about something.
We were talking about music. Thomas music, I think.
Yeah.
Song.
We were talking about that little engines iteration done by Mike O'Donnell, telling you to find.
Yeah. I said I'll get that. Yeah, I did say I'll look for it.
Yeah.
Although whilst I was thinking about it, the Scar Lowy thing was playing in my head for some sort of reason. Beautiful music piece. Beautiful instrumental.
Oh yeah.
By the way, if you want to listen to some really good like orchestrated music bits or medleys of Thomas and Friends, look up Francis S.
If you want to find some really sort of like different kinds of music genre alterations of famous Thomasodes, check out
Headmaster Hastings. Yeah,
he's just come onto the scene, but he's done some amazing work.
Did you guys see he and Tugster intensifies?
What? You've just stopped, Joel.
I think he's
frozen.
I think his big end's gone.
Freeze.
His face is frozen as if he goes.
It's like freeze frame.
The other one gone. There, it's also Dan and Scott disappeared for a minute too.
All right.
Anyway, they did. And sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but also Scott and Dan disappeared on my end too. Anyway, Headmaster Hastings and Tugster Intensify did their own cover of Break My Stride.
I heard of that one, and it's cool. It's cool.
They did it in the style of the show of the.
I would love to collaborate with him. He could
right. Had become the official Thomas fandom trend.
That's Matthew Wilder you're thinking of.
Yep, Matthew Wilder. Break My Stride today.
The first time I ever heard that song, somebody did a music video of the.
Oh, you mean
music
video?
I think that was you, wasn't it, Dan? That did a music video of Break My Stride.
No, that was Flying Kipper. That was Flying Kipper. That was the Kipper again, wasn't it?
Yeah. The first one I did see it before all of that was by Christopher Signori back in the very day when Soda and Fenside was published in 2004.
You want to know what my first exposure to that song was?
Okay.
Enterprising Engines.
Ooh, Enterprising Engines. No surprise. You were in it.
I was red.
Surprisingly enough, my first exposure to that song was in the Blu-ray 2 series.
Huh.
Oh.
Strangely enough. But then it got took down because of copyright. But it's still up there for some sort of reason.
But you, Russ, was your exposure to the Break My Stride song?
Well, the first time I ever heard that song was that music video I saw on the SIF media site where it had all these redubs and music videos and that.
Yeah, that was the music video I was referring to by Christopher Signori.
Yeah. That is a good one. I must say, the more I learn about this community, the more I'm just sort of baffled to how sort of complex it can be.
Yeah. Even at the very beginning, it sounds very much like the Thomas Series 1-esque music thing.
Indeed. Chaps, I feel as though that I must part ways with you tonight.
Yeah, I kind of feel like hanging out too.
It's nothing against you, but it's approaching midnight.
I know,
and
it's
I've got a deadline coming up in a few days, and I want to wake up in good time tomorrow to work.
Before we go.
Okay, best of luck, Toby.
Okay, Toby, before you go, I was thinking, earlier on, did you do a Chuckle Visions impression of hello earlier?
I did, yeah.
Guys, Daniel's about to do something.
Right.
I just want to ask Toby this quickly. Can you do an impression of either Paul or Barry Chuckle?
I could try. I'm just trying to think of a line that could help to illustrate the point. Oh yeah, here's what I say. Okay, so there was a technical fault, but they were still quick. You said I'd go as fast as a jumbo jet, and I landed here. But still a technicality. I still won the race. I won.
Very good, because I think I might have a part for you in miniseries season 5. If I send you a request on Facebook, and we could talk about it then.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to get me if you want to get into contact with me,
the food girls are talking about my shirt.
If you go onto my YouTube channel, TFL Creative Media.
TFL.
And I have a filmmaker show reel. It's like the latest video that I made, and it's the first video that you see when you go onto the channel.
Right.
And at the end of that show reel is my contact information, professional contact information.
Right, gotcha.
But yeah, I was going to give you my card, but then I realised, oh, wait a second.
It's great talking to you for the first time, Toby.
I talked to you last year when we did this birthday thing with Dan last year in April.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was a good. What do you think of my shirt?
It's nice. Did you get that custom made?
Right.
Oh, very empowering. So Ross, I would definitely like to talk further about this, and you Scott, definitely. I want to know what you guys think of my series, and also just talk more about collaborations, because I just want to get more out there in this community. So yeah, please these can contact me respectively.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay.
Great talking to you.
We'll go and to end things off, we'll have to end things off with a special big bang to end the special anniversary year.
Start the countdown.
5, 4,
3, 2, 1. Kaboom!
What's happened?
Kaboom!
My sister wet fuse.
Okay, right, ready, guys?
Hit the deck.
3, 2, 1.
Oh dear.
Don't worry, Neil. As soon as you pass the light fitting, change the bulb. Right, ready, guys? 5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm in the direction that there.
Come on, Neil. I want to drive away. Ready, guys? Right.
Oh no, it's stuck.
That's nothing that girl never wants to hear.
Not the way I. Oh dear. There we go.
Happy birthday, Thomas, and thank you.
Happy birthday, Thomas.
Happy birthday.
Yay!
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Thomas and friends. This another 25 years. See you soon. All right, whatever you say.
And so our journey ends.
And
so the journey comes to an end, but it's time to go home again, just like Thomas.
Good one. I always use that for my Thomas videos.
See you later then, Toby.
Take care, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Right.
Oh, he's gone.
No,
two of them are gone.
Ben didn't make it to go.
It's all of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
Ben, if you see this, thanks for hanging out, man. I was a little.
Thank everyone for joining in the for fun in the live chat in spite of lots of shenanigans with several off topics when this live stream is supposed to be about Thomas, but then we decided to talk about something else anyway.
Kind of got off
Yeah,
track.
sorry about that. Sometimes we just can't help ourselves, if you know what we mean.
Guys,
Yeah.
there's a question here in the chat. There's a question here in the chat from Stephen Van 55. He says, "What episode from season 1 to 5 were your guys' favourites? Also, which British steam bases would you like to see in Thomas and Friends as a character?"
Oh,
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, from season 1 to 5.
We could probably pick one of our favourite episodes, one from season 1, one from season 2, 3, 4, 5. Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So my favorite episode.
One is
Okay.
the. Let's see. We'll see.
Want me to go first?
Okay.
Okay, go on.
I'll go first. My favorite. One of my favorite episodes of season 1 is Thomas in Trouble. Series 2, The Runaway. Series 3, Henry's Forest. Season 4, Paint Pots and Queens. I've got a lot of favourite of Series 5, but my most favourite one is James and the Trouble with Trees.
Okay, those are good choices, Scott.
Thank you.
My favorites are from series 1 to 5 as follows. Maybe too many to list, but here goes. Let's see. Dirty Objects. Series 2, Break Fan. Series 3, Oliver Owns Up. Series 4, let's see, what else is there? Thomas and the Special Letter. And Series 5, hey, that's a big. Let's see. I don't know why. It's too hard to pick, but Series 5, yeah, Series 5.
But it's a better view for Gordon.
I'm trying to think. Hang on. Oh dear. I'm thinking. Let me think.
I'm thinking.
I'm thinking. This is going backwards.
Oh, busy going backwards. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. Now, Russ.
That was actually.
Okay.
Let's make that one last question before we all end the live stream. Agreed?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And then, who should go next, me or Joel?
Go now, Ross, because I'm still thinking.
Okay.
Go on, Ross.
Season 1, Thomas and the Trucks, because I just love the music on Thomas's journey with the trucks. Season 2, Old Iron. Season 3, Escape. Season 4, Special Attraction. And Season 5, Busy Going Backwards.
Good choices. Good choices.
Yep. Joe, have you thought of any?
Just a second here. So I really had to write this one out because this one really had to make me think. So for season 1, Thomas's Christmas Party. Season 2, the Duck and Diesel trilogy.
I think you're going to go for 1.
I just can't on that one. I'm kind of copping out on that. That's the hard one for me. Season 3, All at Sea. Season 4, Thomas Meets the Queen, and season 5 is kind of a toss-up. It's kind of a toss-up between Rusty and the Boulder or Stephanie Gets Lost. Stephanie. Why do I keep saying Stephanie?
When you say Thomas Meets the Queen, that's Paint Pots and Queen. So we've got the same favorite season 4 episode.
Here's a little shameless self-promotion. I did a narration read of Paint Pots and Queens a few days ago.
Cool.
I've watched it, Daniel. It was absolutely brilliant.
I still need to see that.
Same here.
I love it.
Promotion to the Royal Engine DVD and storybook.
Yeah. Me,
Right,
I did
why
a
not?
dealt with Thomas reenactment of Paint Pots and Queens, like half of it, and we had good views of it as well.
Oh, that's
We
really
uploaded the reenactments of Ross's channel, yeah.
very good. That's all good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Any other
right.
questions?
As it's getting late at night, and we're at the very end. That's another birthday year for Thomas and Friends. That's hashtag Thomas 75th birthday, or hashtag Thomas 75, or hashtag 75 years of Thomas, whatever have you. It's been great fun talking with you guys.
Yay!
After a very long time. And until next time, shall we start with you, Joel, for a bidding of farewells?
I don't want to say goodbye.
That's all you got.
It's kind of on the spot, man. I don't know.
Okay.
Shoot, I really don't know what
You're speechless.
yeah. Again, on the spot,
Still, it's around midnight here.
Do the Looney Tunes like that's all, folks.
Oh. Well, if that's what you want, then
Okay.
Then TTFN, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, shoot, I'm gonna get sued by Mickey Mouse.
Ooh, wrong show. Guys, who's still in the live chat? Are you good, Joel? Because we're going to move on to someone else.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. This was fun hanging out with you guys and doing this. However off track we might have gotten, pun intended.
It was good. It was good to see you face to face for the first time, Joel.
Yeah. Well, we've seen each other face to face before, haven't we, Scott?
I can't remember, but
during one of the Google Hangouts with
yes,
with Liz.
It's gone.
That was the first time.
I couldn't remember, but yeah, it was great seeing you again.
Yeah,
it's great seeing you guys again too.
It's great to see you again, Joe.
Yeah, likewise. Shall we move on to Scott next for his farewell message?
What?
Shall we move on to Scott with his farewell message to our viewers?
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this wonderful live stream. And this is Parker here, speaking of Mr. Kofi for this auspicious live stream. It's been a pleasure being a part of this show. So hey me.
That's great. Ross, do you have any farewell messages?
Yes, I do. I'll just do it in one of my favorite voices.
Okay.
Thank you all, everybody, for tuning into this live stream. We hope you've enjoyed listening to everything we've all been talking about. We've also had a good laugh. We've had fun, and we also hope that we all stay safe, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Yes, indeed we do. So see you later, folks.
Bless your toes. Brilliant.
Right. Before my farewell message, do you have any short birthday messages for Thomas and Friends for the hashtag Thomas75?
Yes.
Shorter.
Who's?
Happy birthday, Thomas and Friends.
Happy birthday, Thomas the Tank Engine and friends.
Well, happy birthday to Thomas and Friends, and that includes the Railway series. Many more to come. Hope we celebrate another anniversary in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
Happy 75, Thomas. Here's more. Here's to more.
Yep.
Absolutely.
25 years, hopefully. We'll never know.
Someone should take a still shot of this holding Thomas items.
I'll try. Hang on. There you go. I just took a screen.
Good one.
Sweet.
Good one.
Yay. It's just like it reminds me of a quote from Winnie the Pooh. What shall I be then? 99. Silly old bear.
99 years old. Oh, bother.
99 years old. Oh, bother. With that said, thank you everyone for joining this celebratory live stream. And until next time, this is SmurfyDan signing off, and I will be bidding you a very safe and joyful week. And of course, for the rest of the hashtag Thomas75 here, and have a good night.
Later,
Bye.
folks.
Goodbye, everybody.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. See you later.
See you next time.
Beep.
See you next time.